It's starting to happen. So that by the time you're somewhere here, you've got such momentum. There's so much going on. There's so many people talking about it, and you're on social media. You've got a little crowdfunding campaign going. There's so much going on that suddenly those who make decisions about funding can't turn it away anymore, because it's like, who said something about the train has already left the station, right? It's already happening. Whether whether they come on board or not, you're going to the next studio. You're going to see something. This is going to happen, right? So try to make it as concrete as you can along the way. That is kind of important. The other thing too is obviously Gil and his wife and Clayton they've had some successes, things have happened, and for the rest of us, we're sort of in this gap, still hoping that something big is potentially going to happen. But don't be waiting for permission, right? Give yourself the permission to continue. Just keep doing the projects, as Patrick said. Maybe it's that project's a bit too big. Look at something a bit smaller, something that's more contained, like Shallow Waters. Something like Blair Witch Project, something that has a greater doability. Any project that I do, I try to really make it as clear as possible that I can achieve this project. It's really doable. It's not pie in the sky, because there's so many high concept projects that are so out of our scope and out of our league for the time being. And it's great to have those stories and those scripts, but try and focus on projects that really can be done. Who said something about the race course, and having the car available to them, on weekends for filming and shooting. Those things make it plausible and believable that we can actually achieve those. How to bridge that distance between the finished product and here. And it's not that hard. It's a natural process of one step in front of the other, and you get there. It's not that hard to achieve. It's just, and the other thing too is there's this big illusion that movies must cost hundreds of millions of dollars, that they have to cost a huge amount of money to make. There are extraordinary people out there, and one of them being Clayton, and I know the two of you are too. They are able to do amazing things on very, very small budgets, like you were showing us at lunch. The ability to really do extraordinary things. And people, even if you personally think you can't do it, I know that I struggle with that myself, give it to people that really can do it, that are able to make that vision a lot closer to where you need to be. It's ultimately a very collaborative circle of people. And fling it out there, let others help, because they want to help. A lot of people want to assist. We're in the middle right now we thought of producing a particular music video that actually relates to a film we're working on. But I thought, there's some amazing, dynamic young directors out there, right? I've seen extraordinary things done on incredibly small budgets. So we've actually gone outside of our production house and said, let's pick a director out there, 2 young guys, and let's give them an opportunity to shoot this music video. Let them do it. We'll pay them to do it. They'll hire us back with our resources to do things for them. But let them do it, Sometimes you have to give other people that are incredibly talented the opportunity to do this, and then assess your talents, your abilities. You're very good at communicating and talking and telling your story, right? It's really clean and clear, and your art of pitching is good. You might find that is actually a really big strength, but your director should probably be somebody more like, Patrick, Gil. You know what I mean? You just pick from what you might have. I know we all want to direct, and we all want to produce, we all want to, the other night I was involved in something, and my brother turned around and he said, what, you can't do that. Forget it, and he was quite offending, but I thought, he's right, somebody needs to tell me that.
He's your brother, he's allowed to do that.
Yeah. So, very important to listen to those things,
Let me add a couple of things, okay?
Yes.
Patience, perseverance, passion. That's really what has to guide you. And, I used to have a saying that I used to tell people when I first started out. And I just used it as a way to tell people how I felt I wanted to make these movies. And when I came back here, I think we made Ghost Ship on the Gold Coast. We came to Sydney for a day. And we were walking down the street, and my wife was saying, you haven't run into anybody you know. You always run into people you know, wherever we are in the world. I go, I've never been to Sydney before. I don't know anybody here. We're not going to go run into anybody I know. And with that, I hear as a car goes screeching by, "Hey, Adler, Gil, hey!" And I'm like, I have no idea who this is. It was a guy who worked for me on Tales from the Crypt in Los Angeles 10 years earlier. Turned the car around, came over, and he goes, "A penny spent is a penny wasted, right? I never forgot that." And I used to tell people, a penny spent is a penny wasted, because I just don't want to spend a lot of money. I don't care what the budget is. I want to get full value. I want to get, our job is to get 110%, not 100% for a dollar. And that's what producers do. That's what good producers do, as opposed to saying, look, someone gave me $1, I'll spend $1. Well, anyone could do that. Take it one more step. We get a lot of stuff that's unsolicited, and most of the stuff we don't read. I get an email from a guy, I think I was telling you the story of lunch. I get an email from a guy, and he says, "Please read my script," and it's and I just, another one of these delete. A week later, I get a script. I get a letter from the same guy, and he says, "Is there any chance I can get you to read the script? I know you're not answering my emails." And I go, delete. The third time he sends me, and he goes, "Listen, I know you're not going to read my script. Could I ask you for a minute of your time to look at a previs?" Previs. That gets my attention. I'm sitting here, who else? Nobody sends previs. Previs costs money. Previs are hard to do. So I go, "Who did the previs?" And he goes, "I did the previs." I go, "How did you do the previs?" And he, in detail, tells me how he did the previs. And I'm like, "That's how you do it. That's, yeah, I'll look at the previs." I look at the previs, and I'm like, "This is pretty good. Who's this guy, right?" So we get on the phone, we talk, and I said to him, let me tell you what the picture is about. Because then he sends me the script, and I read it, and then we meet, and I'm asking him this question and that question, how do you see this, and he's that. And every time I ask him a question, he has an answer. But he also has an answer where it ends with, "Why, do you have a different way of doing it?" And I go, no, I just want to make sure. And I realize every question I ask him as a director, he has an answer, he has a vision, he's thought this out. He doesn't say to me, "Gee, that's a good question, I never thought of that. Give me till tomorrow, I'll get back to you." He has it all thought out. So the idea for the movie is as follows. You know what we've been doing to pumpkins every year during Halloween? They've never liked it. Right? So it's sort of like the Revenge of the Pumpkins in a way. So I said to him, "Look, we could make this movie, we think, for $5 million, but $1.5 million of it is visual effects. And every place we're going to go to, they're going to say, well, what is this going to look like? What are the pumpkins going to look like? How am I going to relate to that?" So I said, we really have to put together and shoot like a minute with visual effects so that we can show how these pumpkins look and how they react, and do they have facial expressions? So I said, that's really your job. Your job is to figure out how we're going to shoot a minute. So he comes back about 2 weeks later and he goes, "I have a budget and it's $10,000. I said, no, it's not. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Your budget is nothing. No one's going to put up $10,000, especially me, but no one's going to put up $10,000. You have no money. Your job as a film director is to figure out how to make this for nothing. Now, I can help you in the following way. My makeup effects guy in Hollywood is like the top guy, and he'll do me a favor so we can get him to do makeup effects. And I know all the visual effects companies from Australia to Europe to America, because they've worked on all of my big movies. I'm sure I can get an Academy Award-winning company to do the visual effects if we keep it to a very minimum amount. So I can help you with those two areas. But everything else, equipment, cast, locations, everything, you're going to have to find, and you have no money. So if you can do that, that's what filmmakers do. And if you can't, you need to think about why or what you are, if you're a filmmaker or not. 2 weeks later, he calls me up and he goes, "I can't believe it. I got cameras, I got crew, I got locations, I got. So we shoot for one night, one full night. And one of the reasons why I wanted to see him shoot is I wanted to just see him in action. Can he handle a cast? Can he handle a crew? Can he handle a camera? And I said, look, the rules of the game are as follows. I'm the producer of this, so if I see you do something and I think it's something different, I'm going to tell you. I don't want you to do it because I tell you. It's an opinion. If you like it, take it, run with it. If you don't like it, tell me to shut up, keep going. That's what I want to do. And that's the collaboration we're going to have. And if we ever make a movie, that's the kind of collaboration we'll have. We shoot the whole night. We get all the work done. He gets it all done. And we cut it up. And the guys from the visual effects company do a great job, bang-up job. Get a minute. I think they gave me like 10 shots, 8 shots. And we finish this, and he looks at me and he goes, "So what should we do now?" And we look at each other. We go, "Well, I know this guy, Harry Knowles from Ain't It Cool News, which is on the internet. And he's pretty popular, and people listen to him. And maybe we should send it to Harry and see if he'll review it. And maybe if he'll review it, somebody might be interested in saying, hey, what are these guys up to? Especially the guy who did Tales from the Crypt. What's this?" So I send it to Harry. Don't hear from Harry. A week passes, 2 weeks pass, nothing from Harry. And I go, the hell with Harry. I know all the other guys on the internet who review these things. Let's send it out to all of those 4 other guys. So we send it out to those 4 guys. They review it, and they're like, oh man, this is so fantastic, this is crazy, it's so funny, it's so scary, it's cool. And then 2 days later, Harry chimes in, he goes, this is cool, this is great. So now we're at a point where I've got people from the internet are saying, you know, this is like Critters, this is like that, these guys are terrific, this guy's gotta be a movie. And so now we're at the point where I have this little 1-minute clip that we have to show. I have Academy Award winning special effects company do the visual effects. And we've cast it with all these sort of fanboy kind of guys. Nobody that the world would know about, but guys who dig these kinds of movies would go, oh man, God, you got that guy. And so now we're in a place where there is some interest in this. And people are now, you know, the obvious is happening. The financiers are going, well, could you do it for $2 million? Could you do it for $3 million? And I go, I could, but then I wouldn't be able to give you the visual effects from this company, and that's one of the things you're buying and you like because they're Academy Award winners. You can't go out and buy Academy Award winning guys to do a $5 million picture. I can do that. So that's the difference between what I can bring to it and what you guys, with all you have is money. So if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, that's cool, I'll go on to the next. So that's kind of where we are with that picture. But that's how something happens. I mean, if you would have said to me, you know, you might be interested in making a movie about, you know, these pumpkins taking their revenge on you know, what we've been carving them up all the time. I would go, what? What is that? You're out of your mind. But this guy has come a long way, you know. He's directed a couple of small things, nothing big. And, you know, we feel like we're probably within the next, I guess, 6 or 8 months, we'll be there. And this happened out of just, you know, like out of nowhere.
And you hear those stories all the time, don't you?
Yeah, and you never know. I mean, you just never know how this is going to happen or that's going to happen. Where are you going to be? So it really, 2 things. One, a penny spent is a penny wasted is appropriate today as it was when I first started out, and it's appropriate for a $5 million movie, a $2 movie, or a $200 million movie. And secondly, you know, you just got to keep the perseverance. You got to just keep checking out. What about this guy? What about that guy? What about this guy? Maybe this guy will lead to that guy. And you just got to keep doing it, even though you feel like you're hitting your head against the wall, which I promise you will feel. And it's not happy.
Several
it's not
walls.
fun. but you just keep going. You just keep doing it.
And the ceiling.
Yeah.
What?
And the ceiling.
And the ceiling.
Yeah.
And we should talk about your film.
Yeah, we should review the ones we did.
Well done. It was a lot of fun watching that. And you were saying that was all shot on your phone. Do you have to credit A.J. Abrams? Is it, are you using?
Sorry?
Is it the effects on it? What did you use?
The flares.
No, the bazooka and all that. Is that?
The effects, special effects were from different apps that that I found. But there were no camera attachments or boom mics. It was just the raw iPhone.
So let me ask you, what do you think of the film? What do you feel like every filmmaker when they finish?
Definitely not my best work, but it was just me wanting to test out what the iPhone is capable of. In terms of trying to match what you see in action films, in a sense, because you know, you look at Hollywood films and you're always wondering how do they pull those off with, you know, giant camera crews and amazing shots, and can I do something even 1% of what they've achieved with just what's in my pocket? And if that's the case, then that's the message I want to spread to people, that
I think you
have a
succeeded.
vision,
Yeah,
absolutely.
go ahead and do it.
What you've done tonight, showing your film, good or bad, with hairs or freckles or whatever, it doesn't matter. You've shown your movie. It's done. It's been seen, right? It's awesome. It's incredible. It doesn't matter what it is, okay?